Good day everyone and welcome to the part 1 of the practical inverter training session. You all did an amazing job in the solar panel installation in our last session. So today we are bringing that energy indoors. We are going to focus on how to safely mount the hybrid inverters, wire up the battery bank and handle cable management like true professionals using proper trunking. So pay close attention to safety steps today because this is where the real power sits. So let's go to work. We classify this inverter as a hybrid because it has more than one component, more than one separate system embedded in one. When you have more than one separate system that is embedded in just one and performing the duties of all the separate system, you call it a hybrid. Now, you know our traditional inverters. Before now, we had inverters that did not come with charge controllers. You have to buy inverters and buy separate charge controllers. But these days, we have inverters that come with charge controller, which is this is the hybrid here. Before now, our inverters, we could not charge these inverters with the national grid, or NEPA. When you hear me call NEPA, I talk about the national grid. When you hear NEPA, I'm talking about the national grid. So we could not charge these inverters, our traditional inverters, with NEPA or national grid. But nowadays, we have inverters that you can charge with your national grid. So let's go to work. These inverters now, before now we used to do load calculation, but this hybrid inverters, you don't need a great knowledge of load balancing or load calculation whatsoever. You don't need to calculate the panel because it is written on the nameplate. The number of panel you are going to use on this inverter is written on the nameplate. It will give you the specification. For instance, let's assume you are installing a 3500 watts inverter. It will tell you the maximum number of panel. Okay, so look at it now. This one has about 4,000 watts is the maximum number of panel. So this is the switch. This is the power switch. Okay, these are the sections for fans. You have the PV in, AC out, and others. So this is a hybrid inverter because it takes the panel voltage directly. It can take the panel, look at it now, it can take the panel cable directly, connect it to this inverter, this AC out, output, then AC in. AC in is the national grid or NEPA. You connect it to this port here, and the inverter will start working. Then it also has a section for battery. So this inverter is just, all in one. So these are the battery. We are going to use two 12-volt battery. This is a 24-volt inverter. Take note, you must read the nameplate very carefully before you install the inverter. You must be conscious of the voltage of the inverter. You have to match the battery voltage to the voltage of the inverter. So we also need this adaptable bus here. What's the work of this adaptable bus? This adaptable bus is to house all the protective devices. So the first installation step is, after unboxing, once you have removed the inverter from the carton and you have found a conducive place to install your inverter, so you place it on the wall. You must not make it so high, a place that is reachable. So you place it on the wall. Look at these holes here. See these holes? These are for mounting. These are the holes that you are going to, pass your screws to mount it to the wall. Okay, so that is the mounting section. So you place your inverter on the wall and then use your spirit level, or what we call plumb in our traditional parlance. Use it to ensure that the inverter is well vertically and horizontally aligned, like it is straight, it is well balanced. You place it after placing your inverter. Don't screw it yet, just place it on the wall. Then you mark out the position. You see that hole there? Use maybe something like a nail or screwdriver to mark out the position, because you are going to insert screws. You know how to mount something to the wall now, so that's how you're going to do it. So you are going to use that two holes at the top to mount it to the wall, but you use your spirit level to ensure that it is straight. Now look at this adaptable bus. You can try to place the adaptable bus under, or you place it at any side, maybe to this left or right. You can try to place it at any position, but I prefer to place my adaptable bus under my inverter. There are some inverters that come with switches. The switches are placed at the side, so if you don't want the adaptable bus to block that switch, so you place it under. So if the switch is under, you place it at the side. So these are circuit breakers here. So we're going to be working with circuit breakers, surge protectors. These are protective devices that you need. Now without this, you have not. Now you can connect your inverter directly, you can connect all the cables directly and it will work. But these devices are to protect your inverter. Inverters are not just like your regular electronics. This inverter must be protected at all costs. Protected from lightning, protected from high voltage and all that. Okay, so that's why we are using the AC breakers and we are also using DC breakers. Pay close attention to the connection of these breakers, because I'm going to teach you how to connect all these breakers. So at the end of this video, you should be able to install any hybrid inverter with good protective devices of your choice. Okay, so let us go now. I said you need protective devices to protect the inverter. So the step is to place the inverter on the wall. That is the first step. Don't forget. Then you place your adaptable bus your adaptable bus under. What you should do is firstly just set up your system, set it up. The connection should be the last part. So you have to set up your system, place the battery in the rack. If you are using a lithium battery, there's one of my video where I use lithium battery. I think you understand. It's just the same step, the same principle apply to using lithium batteries and also tubular batteries. The step is to mount the inverter, place your batteries, and then or mount your battery if it's a mountable battery, and then do your connection. Okay, so set up the inverter. That's what I'm doing right here now. So I'm going to place this inverter. Look at the screws here. So I'm going to place these inverters here. I'm going to screw this inverter to the wall. The first thing I did was to place the inverter on the wall. I marked out the position. Then I use screw. You know how to screw it to the wall. That is not a very big. That's not too difficult for you. You understand that? So I'm just letting you see it, showing it explicitly. Yeah, feel me? So that is it. Okay, so it is very well aligned in the vertical and the horizontal section. It is very straight. That's what I mean. So it is very straight. So the first thing I do when I'm installing inverter, I set up my sections. Then I place the breakers in the adaptable bus. I just arrange my breakers, set up the battery, place the battery in the racks and all that. So that's what I do first. Then the connection is the last thing I do. The reason I'm doing that is so that I'll be able to focus on the connection. So we have AC breakers, we have DC breakers. Now, these are circuit breakers here. Can you see them here? These are circuit breakers. You see this thing here, this red and black breaker. It is called surge protector. It can come in green and also come in red. You have AC surge protector, you have DC surge protector. When you talk about DC, DC is anything that is not alternating. DC breaker, how do you know a DC breaker? Now, these breakers are very similar. You know a DC breaker by the inscription on it. You find a VDC, like volt DC. Then also AC breaker, if you want to identify an AC breaker, you find a VAC inscription on it, or a sinusoidal shape. There's that shape that looks like lightning. You find it that looks like maybe a sinusoid. You find it on it. Okay, so these are DC breakers. Okay, so these are DC breakers here. So this is a DC surge protector. This white one is a DC surge protector, while the red one is an AC surge protector. Take note, DC talks about the panel and the battery and all that. That's DC. Then AC, electric that shocks. Anything that shocks is an alternating current. So let's assume the one that shocks, that is coming from your national grid or NEPA, it is the alternating current. But the one that does not shock, the voltage that does not shock, it's not that DC does not shock, but we assume that the voltage that does not shock is your DC. So your battery does not shock, so it's DC. So the panel voltage does not shock, is DC. So we are going to place breakers in this adaptable bus. This is the adaptable bus here. Picture the adaptable bus. We are going to place our breakers in the adaptable bus, and we are going to separate it in two parts. There are times you find the adaptable buses covered up with breakers. These breakers are just in two parts, the AC. Now, the reason, this your inverter, I said, is not just like your regular electronics. You can decide to take voltage. This your inverter can decide to just connect the battery to the inverter. And that battery port you see there, that battery port, you see B8 battery port and the PV port. You just connect the battery direct to the inverter, connect light from your NEPA or national grid to the inverter. Then you connect your panel to the inverter and it will work. We are just placing this to protect the inverter. It will work directly. If you connect your battery, just connect your battery to this inverter now. Connect your national grid, that port there is very easy. In fact, these hybrid inverters are one of the easiest to connect. So our changeover also, we're also going to need a changeover. So this changeover or knife switch is to switch between maybe inverter, and you also want to switch to if you have generator. Let's assume you have generator and you also have NEPA lights in the house, which is your national grid. So you need this changeover to switch. I'm going to teach you the connection. Now, at the end of this video, there's another video that will pop up at the end of this section. Now, that video is an animated video. I want you to pay closer attention to the connection of this inverter. I want you to pay close attention to the connection, because that's why I decided to create another animated video, so that you will understand fully how to connect the inverter, because it's not about show off. My YouTube channel is not about showing off to let you know that I am very good at what I do. I really need to teach you, because I have actually gained a lot from YouTube. I actually learned guitar playing and also cyber security and others. I build websites. I do a lot of from this website, from this tube. So that is why I'm giving back to the tube. That's why I really do not care. You see people watching your videos, thousands of views with just 2 or 3 likes. I don't really get less motivated. So I just build videos for the tube. So this is a 24 volt system. So first we are going to connect our positive of the battery. It can connect it directly to the inverter to work. If you connect it to the inverter, it will work. But I'll connect the positive to the circuit breaker. Then before I connect it to the inverter, then I will connect the negative of the battery directly to the inverter. So this is the port for connection. You have to remove this cover. This is the cover that exposes the port for your connection. If you don't remove this cover, you're not able to access all the connection ports. Okay, so that is when you remove the cover, you're able to access the connection. So take note, the first thing I did was to set up my system. That's the first thing. Arrange your system, then let the connection be the last, so that you don't get confused, because any little small error, it will be set ablaze. You may just destroy the inverter and all that. So we are very careful with this inverter because it is costly. So I've set up my system. Can you see? Now these are the breakers. Okay, these breakers you are seeing here, they are in two parts. This separate breaker is for the battery. Okay, that's for the battery positive. I connect the battery positive to this to the breakers at the left. Now these are surge protectors. There's another breaker that I need here. You also have, at the time of editing this video, I was not able to get an extinguisher breaker. So, but you can also decide to add a fire extinguisher breaker to your section, to your system. So the voltage regulator has not been added yet. I'm going to add that as the video progresses. Okay, so my system is set up now. That is what I want you to understand. So this is the battery section here. Can you see that the inverter is the battery section? So I'm going to do the connection and I will show you. I'll do the connection and I will let you understand everything. So you also watch the animated video. That video concentrates solely on the connection, how to connect the changeover, how to connect the system, because you may not be able to follow up clearly the connection of this inverter. You may not be able to follow up fully. So that's why I created an animated video. So when you watch the video is going to show you how to connect the battery, how to connect the breakers, and how to connect the changeover and all that, because that part is very tricky. The connection of the changeover is very, very tricky. So you don't need to be a professional. You need to understand the basics. So this is my cable trunking. So I'm also going to place my cable trunking. I said I always put my things in order, and the cables from the panel will come through from this cable trunking you see here. So I want to set it up so that my cables will not be very visible. Like I like doing this job. If you have been following my channel, you should know that I'm an electrician that does, or a technician that does clean work, or a solar electrician, whatever you call it. So I like to do very neat job so that my clients will be impressed, and most of my clients get impressed. It's when a client is impressed that he will direct you to or refer you to other good clients. So that is it. So I like to set up my system in good order. Okay, so what I've done here is I have done the connection. So what did I do here? Now I loop the circuit breaker. The first step is to loop the circuit breaker. Now, what is looping about circuit breaker? The surge protector. The surge protector, you loop the surge protectors first. I said this system, these circuit breakers are seen here, they are in two separate parts. One is for the AC, the other one is coming from the solar panel. So this inverter you see here accepts three inputs. One is the solar panel. The inverter accepts solar panel. The inverter also accepts national grid, that's light from power from your NEPA. That's your national grid. And also it accepts voltage from your battery or the cables from your battery. You can decide to connect everything and it will work. I repeat, you can connect everything to the inverter and it will work. You can decide to skip this circuit breaker section. But if you want your inverter to be protected, use the circuit breakers. Okay, so now this inverter here, let me show you. This system is in two separate parts. Now look at it. The first part, each section has a surge protector. The electric surge protector, the AC surge protector, and DC surge protector. Look at it here. Can you say, okay, that is it? I loop the breaker. You can see the left part here. Okay, you can see the left part here is from the panel. It is the PV, that is the panel input. That is this left part. While the right part, you can see this right part. I loop the circuit breaker. Now see this red thing here, this red device. It's a DC surge protector. Now the green one is an AC surge protector. I'm actually using more than one video to explain to you so that you can see it very visibly. Now look at it. The left part is what? For the solar panel cable. The cable from the panel comes directly to the top of this DC breakers here. Can you see it here? While the right part is for electric. So I separated it in two parts. One part is for your PV, which is your solar panel. The other part is for, I said you can decide to connect directly to the inverter and to work, but I don't want to do that. I want to connect it through circuit breakers so that you can switch it off. You want to switch off the panel, you can switch it off. If you connect it directly to the panel, there's a lot of things wrong with it, but it will work. So this other part, this red and green wire at the right part, you also see there's one other device here which is a voltage regulator, so that if the voltage is very high that is coming from your generator and others, the voltage is very high, it will not blow up the inverter. That is why we are using it. Okay, so let's continue. So like I said, we are just protecting the inverter. So in the long run, we are protecting the inverter. We are protecting the inverter against lightning strike, against high voltage and others. So these two separate sections, you see this output cable, these cables are going directly to the inverter. Okay, the cable from the right is going to the inverter, the cable from the left is going to the inverter. So we are just protecting the inverter against all these high voltage surge, lightning and others. Now look at it. Look at the terminal. Now there's one terminal here at the bottom of this surge protector. Now this is where you connect the earth. Then you link this earth to the earth of the house. If the house does not have earth, you can connect, decide to do your own separate earthing. Then you connect this up. What happens from this surge protector? How does it work? Now, if there's a very high surge of electricity from maybe as a result of lightning, then this device here will short circuit. It's normally open, like it's open, just like a switch. When there's high voltage, when it senses high voltage, it will short circuit. It will close and link the voltage to earth. That is what happens. That is how it works. Okay, so that is surge protector. It is just protecting the circuit breakers, the AC section, and also protecting the breakers or the input from the panel section. It's just like a father protecting the son. That's why I will put it close. So that's the first step. Always place your surge protector close to the breakers, then you connect in parallel. Now it's just like when the father is working with the son, and maybe a coconut is falling from the tree, and the father is there to catch the coconut and throw it away. So that is it. When the lightning is falling, is coming from this from the cables is going to strike the inverter. This surge protector will take the voltage and send it to earth. So that is it. So that is how it works. Surge protector is to protect against lightning. So if you want your system protected against lightning, use surge protector. And also use a fire extinguisher circuit breaker. I did not include that here in this video because this is an old video. I have a lot of video edits, in my archive. So that's why I did not include. So it's an old video. So, but recent videos I have added them to. It's just easy to connect the fire extinguisher circuit breaker in case of maybe there's fire outbreak and all that. So it will just extinguish There's a video on this channel that also, explains how it works, how the fire extinguisher circuit breaker works. Okay, so that is it. So we connected the circuit breaker in parallel to the surge protector. Okay, so the animated video is what you're going to watch. So in most of my videos I do the practical section, to reveal the on-site review, and then I also do the animated part so that you'll be able to understand how it is connected. So the animation is going to focus solely on connecting the inverter, the buses, and the batteries. So you are going to watch it and you understand how to connect in case you have sections for your national grid, your generator. You have generator in that house, so you'll be able to alternate between them. So this changeover connection is also tricky, just like I said at the beginning of the video. So I'm going to teach you all that and in the animated section of this same video. So you are going to watch it. It's right on this channel. So you're going to watch it and understand fully. So this is the cable from the panel. So the solar panel has been installed. The separate video, I've done the connection of the panel in separate video. I need you to watch that. I think you have watched that. Okay, so I've done the connection and it is very tricky and it's very confusing to you. I know the connection is going to be very confusing to you, so that's why I did the animation so that you will understand. Okay, so this is the on-site review, a preamble to that section so that you will understand. After watching this video, you watch the animation, you will understand how it works. So the inverter is on, everything is set and ready. So at the end of the video, just watch the animation so that you get how it works. So you power it on. So the first thing you do is to power on the battery. Okay, you power on the battery and then you switch the breakers that controls the panel and also PV, the grid section. You switch it on, everything works perfectly. Okay, so that is it. So it is very easy to install. So this is the changeover. Now you have two changeover here. This changeover connection, if you switch it down, then it is generator. You switch it up, is national grid. Then if you switch our changeover down from that changeover that is close to the inverter, if you switch it down, it works with inverter. That connection is what I have taught you is in the animation. Just watch the animation so that you understand the connection, because I don't think you will be able to grasp a great deal here. So watch the animation to understand how it works. So this is how to switch it on. This is the battery. That is the breaker that controls the battery. That's the first thing. You switch it on. You connect the battery first. That's what you do. You don't Whenever you're installing this inverter, the first thing you do after doing all the connection is to switch the battery on. Ensure the positive is connected to positive. So it's the 24-volt inverter. So I connected the batteries in series. Okay, so you have to get 24 volts in to output to the inverter. You have to connect both batteries in series. So when I did connect the batteries in series, and then I'm going to switch on the panel. So that's the panel section. When you switch it on, you hear a beep sound. This is the right side section here is for national grid. So I'm going to switch the panel on. I switch the panel and you see this symbol display. You see something like solar panel to show charging. Can you see it? Okay, that's charging. It is charging now from the photovoltaic section. Okay, that's the panel is charging. Then we're also going to switch on the I'm not take note. I'm not This is the section for the national grid as NEPA. My generator is on, so I'm going to switch it on after watching all the screens and all that, the display. Then I'll switch it on, and it will work very fine. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and if you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button, click the notification buttons. Okay, so I'm going to switch on the national grid section now. That's the NEPA section. The section from generator. Look at this voltage regulator. This voltage regulator protects the voltage. The voltage is above. You set it to a limit. If it is above, let's say 250, it will not power on, so that the voltage does not get to your inverter. So that is what it does. It protects the inverter. You can see that sinusoidal shape, that circular shape there. That shows. Can you see it there? That shows it has been connected to grid. Okay. So can you see it? You also hear a beep sound when you turn it on. You hear a beep sound. Okay, so that is it's charging. Can you see this charging symbol here? If there's a fault, it will show this red light here, but there's no fault. I did everything perfectly. Everything is working very fine, so there's no fault. So it is charging. It has a section of switching to switch to. If the solar voltage is not good enough, it will switch to take the grid section as preference for charging. Okay, so that is it. So this is the SMK solar that has successfully been installed with the circuit breakers, with the adaptable buses, and others. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, watch the animated copy so that you will understand fully. After watching that animated copy, then you will go no further to search for a video on hybrid inverter installation. So thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Okay, so this is just how I fix my breakers and all that. So you can start to watch it, you can start to exit here. So thank you so much. I love you.